Welcome to JMO with Josh and Joe. It is Tuesday, January 31st. And Joe, the Super Bowl is set. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Dun 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 dun.
So, we have it. It is set. I'm not happy about it, but whatever. It's there. We'll get into all sorts of stuff. I mean, we'll obviously recap the games. We'll have a Super Bowl preview, which we'll get to all those games. I want to start with talking about some stuff around the league that happened because I feel like a lot of shit happened. I mean, and that's usually like how it is, the first couple of weeks after the season ends. You get a bunch of firing, a bunch of hiring, and so I want to dive right into that. I want to start with the big news. The big news that happened earlier today. Sean Payton to the Denver Broncos. I don't know. I don't. Initially, my initial knee-jerk reaction was fuck that because we get like a 30th pick, and I don't want to rebuild next year. I don't want to rebuild, even though I'm still a delusional Saints fan that I still think we're one quarterback away from making a run into the playoffs. Okay. Obviously, it's not going to be with Jameis Winston or Andy Dalton, but if we go big, if we could have gone and gotten somebody, maybe. I don't know.
Well, it helps, though. I mean, for getting something back for a coach that's not going to coach for your team, my biggest fear at this point, because it was just dragging out so long, that we weren't going to actually get something back for him, and he was just going to sit out until his contract expired and then get a head coaching job.
Right, because it expired in 2024. It would have expired next year.
I was about to say, it's pretty soon, so...
I know it's 2024. I just don't know when in 2024. So I think if he would have sat out this year, then we probably wouldn't have gotten anything. So at least we got a 30th round, the 30th pick in the draft, and then I think two first round and a second round in 2024. Or is it just the second round in 2024?
So we get a second round in 2024, but we give up a third round in 2024. Mm-hmm. So we do a little swap.
That's fine. And I mean, honestly, by that point, we're going to need to rebuild. So I'll take it. Fuck it. Whatever. I hate rebuilding. I hate rebuilding. I want to win every year. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but I don't know. There wasn't any details about how the length of the contract just yet, as far as I heard. Did you hear anything else? I don't know.
Not that I've gotten so far, so we'll have to see how that goes. Because, I mean, rumor was that he was going to get upwards to $25 million a year, which is absurd, and would just wreck the market for coaches.
Kind of would, but I think the Waltons want to win now. They bought that franchise. They brought in Russell Wilson. They're throwing money around like the Waltons know how to do. So I mean, I don't blame him. Here's the thing. I'm glad Sean Payton went to the AFC. It would have sucked if he was in the NFC. It would have sucked if he would have went to the Panthers, which I didn't think he was going to do. But maybe, dude, I don't know. I even expected Tampa to fire their head coach, Todd Bowles.
Yep, Todd Bowles.
And instead of Byron Leftwich, which that was a shock to me. That kind of solidified Tom Brady leaving. And then I thought they were going to fire Todd Bowles and maybe go with Tom Brady and Sean Payton. That would have been a nightmare situation. But he's in the AFC. I don't really care about the Denver Broncos very much. He'll probably work well with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, work well with Russell Wilson. I can see him getting into some conflict with the front office because that's kind of been the concern right now. And also, that wasn't actually Broncos' first pick either, which is surprising. D'Amico Ryans actually was their first pick, and he shot him down and told him that he was going to the Texans, which we'll get into in just a second.
That'll be next, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so Sean Payton wasn't actually first selection. So I don't know. I can see that just being the start of butting into some chaos later down the road.
I hope not. I like Sean Payton, so we'll see. He's got a decent setup over there, so I'm sure part of the stipulation of his contract or him going there was he's gonna need control, and he'll probably get it. He's one of the best coaches of all time. He's a Super Bowl winning head coach. He's an offensive guru, so they're gonna need to cut him some slack. They're gonna need to let him kind of go out on his own. If you don't have anything else on that, I'll get to D'Amico Ryans.
Let's go to it.
That might be the most perfect hire of all hires any time. Like I think the only thing that would have been better or more appropriate is like the Cardinals hiring Larry Fitzgerald or the Texans hiring like the Texans hiring J.J. Watt or the Colts hiring Peyton Manning. Like, I don't think like that was one of like as far as former players going to their old teams where everybody loved them type thing. That's about as perfect gets.
I think that's the equivalent of like what you see with a college coach going back to his alma mater.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be there's an extra level of passion that he's going to want to put into this program that's, you know, to make it, you know, his own. He just feels like he's that connected to it, to where it's just going to be his passion project. And, you know, it's going to be exciting to see.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty pumped about it, actually. I think I hope they give him something to work with. I think their defense is going to be solid. He's a great defensive-minded guy. He was an insane linebacker at Alabama. He was insane at the Texans. He played really well. He had a great career. So I don't see why it wouldn't work out. Like I don't know. I could be getting really ahead of myself, but he got a 6-year deal.
6-year deal.
6 fucking years, my man. Like, they are in this for the long haul. Obviously, I know, I get it. Contracts nowadays don't really mean anything, but six years is a long time.
Yeah, a lot longer than they gave Lovey.
I know, right? I don't think he was ever meant to be there for the long term, anyways.
He's just a bridge guy.
Yep, bridge coach. Speaking of, the Panthers hired Frank Reich. That man must be the best interviewer of all time. That man studies all the key words that you're supposed to say, all the key phrases, has all the best answers. Like, it's like, what about you? Why should we hire you instead of blah blah blah? And then boom, he just rattles out like stats on stats on stats. Just I don't know. He's got the interviewing process down. Pat.
Just down.
He has to. He has to, especially after last year's Colts performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like you see that in the work life where, you know, people have like good interviewing skills, but, you know, not even qualified for the job.
Right.
Now, regardless how they do or not, but it's just like, you know, some people can just have a knack for it. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Also, it's maybe a little bit of who you know type of thing.
It could be.
Because he also was the first quarterback for the Carolina Panthers franchise.
Oh, really?
So that was it's a little connection almost similar to D'Amico Ryans in a way. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he was the first quarterback for the Panthers. Because at first I was right there with you. I was like, man, this guy's he's good at interviews, I guess. I mean, but also apparently there's been word that's been coming out that he's kind of been going back and forth with Jim Irsay. So that's kind of what led, and he didn't have full reins at the Colts, which was kind of what led to the demise. So he might have shifted just blame all on
Jim Irsay, because Jim Irsay is a little crazy.
Yeah,
he's like the Jerry Jones of the North. Like he likes the media attention. He's a little cray, but he likes control. So like,
yeah.
If Frank Reich's not gonna, and Frank Reich, he seems like I don't know the guy personally, but he seems like an alpha. If he's not gonna have control, then he's not gonna want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, he could and basically, I bet he was just with, you know, Carolina. He was like, look, this guy's got 45 DUIs. Like, he's just off the wagon. Like, you know, and he just wanted control, and I couldn't do what I needed to do with my program.
I saw him snort cocaine off of his desk while he was interviewing me to get the job. So, like, this is just what he literally plays with that roof switch. He opens it up and closes it like a little fucking toddler playing with a toy.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how he is. Shift all the blame. Good job, Frank Reich.
If there was a wild card version of Jerry Jones, which is impossible to imagine, it's Jim Irsay.
It's like if Jerry Jones and Dan Snyder had a kid. And then we get Jim Irsay.
Jim Irsay. Golly.
That's great. I kind of like the personalities as the owners, though. Like, I think it's good for the league. I mean, you need your, like, Saikons, you need your Waltons, you need your, you know, the stable guys. But you also, who's the Zach Johnson or Woody Johnson or whatever, the owner of the Jets. You need your good guys, but you also need your wild cards. I like having a good wild card. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But yeah, let's see. We got the Patriots hire Bill O'Brien as the offensive coordinator. It's just everything's coming full circle with some of these hires.
Oh, so they actually hired an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, they actually did. And it's Bill O'Brien who basically does anything Bill Belichick says.
Yeah, I mean, it's Bill Belichick's friend group. He's got a very small friend group, and he just he goes back to that friend group quite a bit.
Yep. It works. Bill O'Brien's not a head coach. Not a head coach. He's an offensive coordinator, and he's Bill Belichick's offensive coordinator. That's it. That's what he's got. I honestly kind of like it. I like it. It's familiar for the Patriots. He can work. He's a quarterback. He's /quarterbacks coach, so he can help Mac Jones out. He's good with the quarterbacks. Maybe he'll make Mac Jones not so much of a bitch. Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe he won't complain a lot and be basically a Grayson Allen of the NFL.
Yep. No, excellent points. But you know what's funny is just that Bill Belichick just kind of expects everybody to be like him. So when he threw like Matt Patricia, because Bill Belichick's a genius. I don't care what you think about him, like as far as like I know that he has his cheating moments and yada yada yada, but as far as like knowing football and knowing both sides of the football, he's an absolute genius.
Of course.
And he expects I guess he just expected Matt Patricia to be like on his same level and be like, oh, well, I mean, I could coach offense and defense, you can do the same thing. And Matt Patricia's not on that level.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Maybe he gives them drugs so that they can be on the same wavelengths. And then the ones that don't work out are the ones who refuse the drugs.
It's like that pill from Limitless with that movie with Bradley Cooper.
That or like he's like has the option like in the Matrix.
Oh.
You can take this one or you can not take this one. If you take this one, you're going to be successful. If you don't take it, you're going to be fired. And then it's just they move on and it doesn't work out. Last one I had was Jets hiring Nathaniel Hackett. Oh, cool. As the offensive coordinator.
Can you say Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers, yeah. That's essentially what that means.
It's an Aaron Rodgers bait.
And kudos to the Jets. I mean, they have a great fucking team. They have a young core. They have just like they a lot of players on their rookie contracts. They got like a really good defense. They got a decent offensive line. Like, why wouldn't Rodgers want to go there? I mean, obviously the media probably, but if anything, he might just be like, you remember in Batman Begins where Scarecrow's trying to like pollute the entire city with his drugs? Mm-hmm. He's just gonna do that with ayahuasca and just chill out New York City.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Or New Jersey. Well, it's the same thing up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just gonna drug the entire city, and they're gonna be like L.A.
Okay.
That's essentially what I think is going to happen if Aaron Rodgers goes there. So media won't be a problem.
Media won't be a problem. They'll be a lot more chill.
They're brutal, yeah. Let's see. One question I had for you, is this the Kelsey Bowl or the Andy Reid Bowl? The Super Bowl?
I feel like the Kelsey won't drive up as strong of narratives as the Andy Reid and Nick Sirianni Bowl. So I don't know if you know.
I think it's just Andy Reid versus Andy Reid.
It's definitely more the Andy Reid, but Nick Sirianni actually was on Kansas City when they hired Andy Reid. He was on as the wide receivers coach, but he didn't keep him on.
Ooh.
So yeah,
some little bit of bad blood there, huh?
Exactly, from both sides.
Oh, I love it. Andy Reid's just gonna sit on Nick Sirianni and choke him to death. That's all he needs to do. He's going to eat like 10 Whoppers and then just sit on them. That's how he's going to win the game. But it is kind of cool that there's never been a Super Bowl where brothers have been playing against each other. I like that. I think that the Kelsey brothers are fucking awesome.
We're very brotherly supportive.
Yes, very brother-centric. I actually... Not to toot my own horn, I partied with them. I think we've talked about this. I partied with them on this draft night. It was Jason and Travis Kelce in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we just happened to be the right place, right time.
Nice.
It was fucking awesome. We were pouring vodka down Jason Kelce's mouth, like Travis and us we were just ripping shots. It was great. It was my 15 minutes of fame. That's it. That's all it was, and it was pretty dope. So yeah, Kelce Bros looking cool. I like that. I have a little stat for you I saw. It's not that great, but I like it's the Amazon stats that we love. It's either Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes have played in every AFC Championship game since 2011. So for the last 12 years, it's been Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game.
I knew there was a reason why I was tired of them.
I don't know. You get sick of seeing the same people. Also, another one, J.J. Watt, and we have to remind people, J.J. Watt and Antonio Brown played in the same offense in 2007 at Central Michigan. J.J. Watt was playing tight end at the time, and Antonio Brown was a receiver.
Interessante.
Mm-hmm. In 2007, Central Michigan, before J.J. Watt went to Wisconsin. All right, I got two more things before we head into the games. My predictions last week, I was 1 for 4.
1 for 4. So I went 4 for 1.
I think you were. No. One out of. I got 1, or I was 1 and 3. So you were 3 and 1.
Okay.
I think. Did you do the opposite of me for all of them?
I did the opposite of you for all of them.
Yeah, so you went 3 and 1. So this is just more proof that I have a get rich quick scheme for you. If all you got to do is the exact opposite of what I fucking do. That's it. It's really it's astonishing how bad I am. Last thing I have, the Pro Bowl is officially a joke. Nothing against Tyler Huntley, but I'm sorry, I'm not watching a Pro Bowl with Tyler Huntley in it.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's gotten to that point. I mean, they don't even play the actual game now. It's a flag football game. It's a whole nother sport.
Right. Now, we did see a stat earlier that if Derek Carr gets hurt in said Pro Bowl game, what was going to happen?
He gets his full remaining contract, which is $32.9 million paid in full to him.
So Derek Carr is going ham at this Pro Bowl game.
Going straight ham.
Going fucking ham. I'm talking he wants to just tear his ACL. No, he probably doesn't want to do that. He probably wants to sprain his ankle really bad.
He's going to he's going to, or maybe sprain his left wrist.
Yes. Sprain his left wrist.
Yeah, so that way it's not his throwing wrist. He doesn't have to worry about anything. But yeah, sprain his left wrist. I have a feeling he's just going to be he's going to really just turn into Kyler Murray out there and just start running all over the field.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler Murray, Reggie Bush style.
Yep. I'm talking have you ever seen the Dukes of Hazzards with Sean William Scott?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a scene where they're fighting, and he throws on a helmet, and that motherfucker just dives into somebody and misses completely. That's all Derek Carr is going to be doing that entire game. The entire game. The best news to come out of the Pro Bowl, though, is the reason Tyler Huntley is in it. Josh Allen decided he was going to drop out to play golf at Pebble Beach.
So again, thus proving the Pro Bowl is a joke.
I don't blame Josh Allen one bit. If I had a choice between going to the Pro Bowl and then golfing with a bunch of people at Pebble Beach, I'd probably pick golfing at Pebble Beach.
Absolutely.
If I'm being completely honest with you. Pebble Beach, I've heard is just absolutely phenomenal. Hopefully it's on my bucket list. I hope I end up getting to play it. But yeah, I completely don't blame Josh Allen one bit.
Do they even play the Pro Bowl in
Hawaii
anymore? Because that used to be the reason, because it's a free vacation in Hawaii. But no, actually, right here, they say it's in Chicago.
It's in Chicago?
Yeah.
Ew.
So, yeah, Chicago or Pebble Beach.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Chicago's probably cold as fuck right now.
Yeah.
Ew. Okay. All right. Don't blame them. You got anything else before we get to the games?
Let's get right to it.
Okay. 49ers versus the fucking Eagles. My worst goddamn nightmare is here, dude. This is miserable. It's just I watch the Eagles dominate every single fucking weekend, and I don't know what else to say. Obviously you could say Brock Purdy got hurt and he didn't have an elbow, so he couldn't throw the rest of the game. Josh Johnson is a fourth string quarterback who's been on 18 different teams. He didn't even want to be there. He's like the Alex Moran from Blue Mountain State. He does just enough to get that backup job.
Yeah.
Just enough to keep a backup job. He doesn't want to play. You saw that. Did you remember the fumble? Mm-hmm. His fumble he had. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to jump on top. He wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
This is not. It's not going well for my Eagles or fraud take. Like they're in the fucking Super Bowl. But I got something. I know you have I know you have a couple of points, but yeah, after you get done, I'm gonna show you why they're still frauds.
Why they're still frauds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my biggest take on this was I just, I'm not going to make any excuse like, San Fran could have maybe won, yada, 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 because of Purdy, yada, yada, yada. My thing is just like, I think us as NFL fans just got robbed of a good NFC game because that was supposed to be a good matchup.
I know, and I mean, it was like, it was 7-7 for a little bit, and then they had the fumble right before halftime, and then they scored. I think Boston Scott scored.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's Bernard Scott now. I think Bernard Scott.
Bernard Scott now.
Yeah, Bernard Scott. He scored, and after that, at that point, it was just like, all right, we're back. We're on our fourth string. It was like if Josh Johnson got hurt, which he did, and Brock Purdy couldn't come in, it was Juszczyk. Mm-hmm. That was going to be the fullback. Was going to be the quarterback.
Well, McCaffrey also played quarterback
McCaffrey did too, yes. And he threw. The bomb he threw was impressive. Like how bad it was.
Yeah, it was. But at the same time, I mean, I feel like that's honestly better than what they were going to get out of Brock Purdy. Like, at least you would have the defense, not on their toes as far as, the randomness of the offense and being able to not predict it. Every time Brock Purdy was in, it's like, oh, this is either a run or it's going to be a screen. Like, we're going to huddle everybody to the line of scrimmage. Yeah. So whenever, like, Brock Purdy and Josh Johnson got hurt, my take is, like, just throw McCaffrey in. Just throw Debo or throw somebody in that quarterback position. Just, hey, fuck it. I mean, it's the last game. What do you got to lose?
Yeah, I agree. It's like people are going to say, oh, the Philadelphia Eagles defense looked awesome. Like they did. They played great. What the fuck do you mean? They knew what was coming every single play. Mm-hmm. They brought the fucking house. That's why they were in the 49ers backfield the entire goddamn day. It's just, it's not impressive, Philly. It's not impressive. I'm not impressed.
I mean, I can press engage 8 every single time for a play and, be a defensive coordinator genius in that type of game.
Because you just need man coverage on everybody. And honestly, they're not going to run past the 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. So it makes it even easier.
Yeah.
That's not impressive. Not impressive. And then I get it. People are like, well, they played decent offense. They weren't really aggressive in the second half because they didn't need to be. I get it. Whatever. The Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith is a fucking animal. That one arm grab, which Sirianni or Kyle Shanahan should have thrown a challenge flag on, was absolutely athletic. He's just they have weapons all over the place. Miles Sanders had a great game. Kenneth Gainwell's a dog, and Bernard Scott is filthy. He's a filthy little meatball. He's like a muscle hinster. He's like MJD almost. Except not as big.
Yeah, no, he is. That whole running game was absolutely absurd. I mean, because that's the thing. It's not like anybody or like the defense changed much. I mean, they're still the same defense. I get it. They're probably demoralized because they know the offense really can't score, but that defense couldn't stop the run for Philadelphia either.
No, they couldn't. And I mean, they were on the field for most of the game, and that was just a product of fucking. The 49ers offense couldn't. Like, McCaffrey did all he could do. He had some decent runs, and, like, he did all he could do. Like, it's maybe get Debo involved a little more. I don't know, throw Brandon Ayuk. I don't – at that point, I mean, if you're Kyle Shanahan, you have a game plan in place for Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, you lose Brock Purdy, it's hard. I get it. I kind of understand why he didn't throw the challenge flag, though. It was early in the first quarter. Like I don't think they were expecting what happened to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sure he probably should have thrown the challenge flag, but I understand why he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there's a lot of game left. Even if they did convert and score, there's a long game ahead.
Exactly.
You almost kind of want to do it in a crucial time where you're running out of time and every play really really matters.
Yep, I completely agree. Do you have anything else on this?
I guess what did I have to say? Kyle Shanahan's good, but he's not fourth string quarterback good. Which I don't think anybody really is.
I was about to say, show me a coach that is fourth string quarterback good. Doug Peterson maybe Doug Peterson. I don't think that's not something Bill Belichick could have done. I guarantee you Don Shula couldn't even fucking do that.
Yeah.
John Madden, I don't care. All the great coaches in history. Fuck it. One of the biggest offensive minds in football, Sean Payton, probably couldn't have done anything.
No.
That's just something that's impossible. Fourth string, Josh Johnson, he can't throw the football.
Yeah. It's
even
crazy.
He got hurt.
It's crazy. I mean, because I know Kyle Shanahan was trying. He was trying to get himself that win with a fourth-string quarterback. Because, I mean, just think about it. Think what that does to a coach's ego and pride. That's I did this.
I mean, you went to the Super Bowl with a fourth-string quarterback. That solidifies you as that's an all-time great year.
Yeah,
you have to. And Sirianni probably still will get Coach of the Year, even though I think it should be Andy Reid.
Nah, I think Sirianni should get it.
No, it should be Kyle Shanahan or Andy Reid.
That's what my future really says.
Oh,
I'm not biased. I'm not biased.
Okay, gotcha.
But
you don't have you just have money riding on it. Just no bias.
No biases, just money riding on it.
Okay. Yeah. Fuck the Eagles. Anyways, what else? What else in this game? It was kind of boring.
Yeah, I mean, except they did get a little bit more, or 49ers did get emotional towards the end of the game, which was understandable, especially it all let loose whenever Kyle Shanahan blew up at that ref.
Yeah. I mean, no, I feel like that was kind of pent-up anger that he needed to get out because it's of just sheer frustration, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much what it was.
Because that was after the penalty whenever they ran into the kicker, and he thought that the Eagles blocker had blocked him into it.
Yep.
So, yeah. And then I just felt like the whole team kind of just imploded after that. Everybody was just getting chippy. Everybody was, going back and forth. Trent Williams literally threw a guy into another dimension.
He did. That was kind of funny. He was getting fucking furious.
Yeah. So it sucks. It sucks to see. Like I said, I think we just got robbed out of a good NFC matchup. I'm not saying that 49ers would have won. Eagles definitely could have won because and would have won because they're just that good.
No, I think the 49ers would have won.
But I think we just got robbed.
Yeah. Okay, so this is my last ditch effort because Lord knows we're on the last fucking game. My last ditch effort to prove that the Eagles are frauds.
Okay.
They're not as good as they may have been looking. Okay. This is a list of the last. All the quarterbacks they have played since their bye week in week 9. Okay, and I'm gonna list them down from the most recent games all the way down to the bye. These are the quarterbacks that they have faced. Okay, Josh Johnson / Brock Purdy.
Okay,
this was the most recent. Okay, then I'm gonna go down the list. Daniel Jones, Andy Dalton, Dak Prescott, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Ryan Tannehill, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Taylor Heineke, Davis Mills, Kenny Pickett. There is one good quarterback on that entire list.
Dak?
Aaron Rodgers. No, Dak sucks. Dak fucking blows. Fuck Dak Prescott, man. He fucking... Oh, God.
Dak Prescott.
Dak fucking Prescott. Oh, he's done. He's done. He throws interceptions like Jameis Winston. Dude, it's... So, look, they haven't played a good quarterback. And the good quarterback that they did play, Aaron Rodgers, his team didn't even make the playoffs. Okay, so they're still frauds. They're going up against an actual legit quarterback who is not as injured as we thought. Either that or they just shot him up with so much dope that he didn't fucking feel it. He played outstanding. If you had a high ankle sprain, you talk to anybody. I've had an ankle sprain before. If you talk to anybody who had a high ankle sprain, that's a 5 to 6 week recovery period. He didn't look, again, they could have shot him up with a lot of dope, but he didn't look like he was limping that much. It didn't there were times during the game that he was limping. I get it. Now there was probably some pain. The drugs wore off, but he looks good, and he's gonna have 2 weeks to rest it. And he is the best quarterback in the NFL. He's gonna win the MVP. They have the best tight end in the NFL, arguably. Like Philadelphia is gonna go up against an offense unlike they've ever seen all year. The Chiefs have a fucking defensive line that they had that the Philadelphia Eagles haven't seen all year. Mm-hmm. This is not going to go well for the Eagles, which again we'll get to on the Super Bowl preview. I got hot there.
You got hot. You definitely got hot.
I got real hot there.
You need me to turn the fan on real quick?
Maybe. I don't know. All right, you got anything else in this game? I don't want to fucking talk about the Eagles anymore.
I was about to say, I think you already made your way over to the next game.
Yeah. Well, I'm yeah. Okay. Let's get to the Chiefs. All right. I'm not even gonna say the score. You know what? I'm not even gonna say the score. Not gonna give Philadelphia I'm not gonna give it to Philadelphia. Bengals versus Chiefs. Okay. This was it's hard to talk about this without talking about the refs. Obviously, the blown calls. I think the main point we have to make starting off is the the late hit on Mahomes at the end of the game. That was the right call.
Oh, it was the right call.
Osai just that was bad.
Yeah.
You can't fucking do that. Like, know where you're at. Have some awareness. His Madden awareness rating's probably in the 50s.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as Dalton Schultz. Let's put it that way. It's not as bad as Dalton Schultz, but it's in the 50s.
It's in the 50s.
Yeah, because you can't do that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You got to be more aware of like the circumstances. It's tricky because quarterbacks are playing into this and using it to their advantage now, as far as like the roughing the passer and the unnecessary roughness.
They don't go straight out of bounds. They ride the out of bounds line.
They ride the sideline, yeah, and they kind of lean into them. So they'll go out of bounds and then lean into the defender. It's kind of a strategy a lot of quarterbacks have been picking up. So like, it's tough, and especially like it's Joseph Osai. I'm sure being a defensive lineman in the NFL, probably 6'5", 6'6", maybe, or 6'4".
He had a good game, too. He played well.
He did play well. 274 pounds. I mean, anything that I learned in high school physics tells me, like, if he's charging at that speed, at that rate, momentum's going to carry him into the quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. And, like, you can't – it's not like you can let up because if you saw a Pacheco run earlier that game, Pacheco just kept going straight down the sideline, and it looked like the defenders didn't. They could have pushed him out more. They could have pushed him out harder, but they didn't because they didn't want to get a fucking flag.
They don't want to get that unnecessary roughness.
They have to figure this shit out because, and I think this is a league thing. This is my theory on the refs, and we're going to talk about the game because I know like everybody's been talking about the refs, but here's a theory I have. I think what they can do. I think the NFL needs to come in and reevaluate the rules. They're too strict. It's like I think if they just open it up a little bit and like you know how they've become more and more strict on all these play calls, all these things to protect the players and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think that's what's making these refs like I don't know. I think it's causing the problem. I think that's the reason. Like they're trying to micromanage this game. And the NFL needs to just loosen up a little bit. It's a contact sport. People are gonna get hurt. Like they know this going into it. They've known it since they were kids. Like they've obviously seen injuries their entire fucking lives. Loosen up. Let up a little bit.
And the thing is like I don't have the stats to prove it, but I mean, we've been talking about how injuries are prevalent in, today's game, like in this season, the last season before. So, and the rules have only been strict, like, for quite so long. So, like, we haven't seen an improvement in, like, injuries because of it, because of these strict rules that they've been implementing. So,
if anything, we've had more injuries.
Almost, yeah. I would, I don't, like I said, don't have the stats to back it up, but it seems like it.
Yeah. And again, like to your point, they have loosened up or they have tightened Tighten up on the rules and restrictions.
Yep.
I don't think it's good. I think you need more contact. It's like there was some Asian militia that what they would do is they would purposely break their soldier's nose, and they would wait for it to heal up again, and they would break it again. And the more they broke it, the stronger the cartilage. When it healed, the stronger the cartilage was, so they would be less likely to get their nose broken. When they were getting fights. Which, when you get your nose broken, you bleed everywhere. It's a big mess. So, like that, I think that's what needs to be done. I think with them taking away all the contact practices and mandatory contact less practices, I think it's making their bodies weaker. If I'm being honest, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but I think if they hit each other more, their bodies will build up more of a tolerance. Like, I get it, they've been playing and hitting each other for their entire lives, but just. I don't know. If you're trying to make the game safer, yet there's more injuries, there's something wrong.
There's still something wrong.
That's all. That's yeah. Let's get to the game. The Kelsey lateral or the attempted lateral, that would have been great. What's his face would have been gone if it would have been a good lateral.
I like how Kelsey is leading the way into implementing the rugby lateral into football.
I agree because it seemed like that was kind of a design play.
It looks like it. Regardless, it looks like Kelsey was definitely committed to it. Mm-hmm. So regardless if it was a design play or not, but he was committed. And he just threw it a little bit too much in front of, I want to say Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah, I think it was McKinnon.
It was either McKinnon or Pacheco, but I think it was McKinnon.
Yeah.
And, and they almost wanted to do it again to Owen Gray. So it was two times.
He attempted it, or he looked like he was going to attempt it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I'm here for it. Like, I think they should do that more often. Like, it's not that hard to call a play where you just throw it down the field 10 yards, have everybody come in, you suck in like 2 or 3 defenders. This is basic rugby skills. You suck in defenders, pitch it out.
Yep.
And that guy will suck it. He'll run in, pitch it out. He'll run in, pitch it out. So you're just sucking in defenders, and then like, if you get 3 guys over there, you just dish it out two times. You're always all the way out at the edge. They're not prepared to defend against it.
Yeah, and then if they do start getting prepared to, or like a little bit more aware of that lateral, then you can do what they also do in rugby is you give it to a very explosive guy. He gives a fake pitch, and then he takes off with it. Yeah, because then you have the defenders just jolt just a little bit, a half second, and especially if you have like a Tyreek Hill doing something like that, that's all he needs.
See ya. Done. He's gone. The T. Higgins catch late was fucking amazing. Dude, I have to say kudos to Zach Taylor for making the in-game adjustments. Joe Burrow was getting killed. I think at one point he had as many sacks as he had completions.
That is absolutely correct. He had 4 completions when he had 4 sacks.
Yes, and I think that was all in the first quarter. And Zach Taylor made some adjustments. He started throwing the ball out quickly. He was throwing screens out to Jamar Chase. Dude, hey, just keep throwing it to Jamar Chase. He's so fucking good. He plays so big. You know?
Yeah. No, actually, their receivers are just a bunch of like moss receivers. Like they just were mossing the cornerbacks for KC.
Yep.
I'm not going to say all game long. Like KC held their own. It was 20 points allowed. It's not like they were completely going over them. But I mean, Jamar Chase did it in double coverage. T. Higgins did it on that touchdown pass. They were mossing people.
Right. And I think Joe Burrow had like 270 yards. He had a decent game. He just had those 2 interceptions. One of which was unearned.
Yep.
One of which was unearned. I think the first interception, I think we can chalk that up to just Joe Burrow being aggressive, like he always is. It's the Josh Allen effect. You know what you're gonna get from Josh. You're gonna get wild plays from Josh Allen. You're gonna get at least 1 interception from Joe Burrow. That's it.
Yeah.
But he's taking you to the conference championship. He took you to the Super Bowl last year. Like, the fact that some people are actually saying the Bengals season was a failure by them not getting to the Super Bowl is absolutely ludicrous.
It's ludicrous.
That is 100% fucking just fake news because an AFC championship, I would have killed for the Saints to get to the NFC championship.
Yep.
Even if they didn't get to the Super Bowl. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, unless it was like because of a terrible call.
And that actually is a good segue to my next point. I know everyone and their grandmother down here in Louisiana was rooting for the Bengals. I'm just gonna say, us as New Orleans Saints fans, we should stop rooting so hard for the Bengals. I think we're kind of projecting our bad luck onto them.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that had a little bit to do with the refs. I think too many New Orleans fans that are now Bengals fans, that we need to chill out a little bit. Like, I know we love Joe Burrow. We get it. Yes, we do. We kind of need to chill out. I think we're putting some bad juju on him.
That's a good observation. I mean, because
it's a decent point. Like, I mean,
it is. Because we definitely experienced that for quite some time.
Oh, yeah. It was a span of like 3 years, 17, 18, and 19. I'll never fucking forget.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. It was like something happened and the refs got involved late. That's just, it sucks. It sucks because you had such a great game and then it just all boiled down to like 2 missed block in the backs. Trey Henderson got held. Sam Hubbard got held. Like, there was just blatant missed calls that at the end of the game, like, I don't care if they're blatant missed calls in the first 2 quarters, maybe even early in the 3rd quarter, but man, please be crisp about it in the 4th.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and like we had like almost a deplaning or defielding. A little bit there for a second. We had a 3rd and 9. The play went all the way through, and then everybody went on special teams, and everybody had to leave the field replay 3rd and 9. That was confusing.
That was weird.
That was like, it was just like, what's going on? I've never seen that in my entire life.
Me neither. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know what the policy is. I guess that's maybe the policy, but the guy didn't blow his whistle because of the time. The clock stoppage or something. The clock was wrong, and the ref was trying to stop the play, but he never did. He didn't blow his whistle, and that was what they were saying. But still,
I'm so confused.
It's so bizarre. That was the most bizarre thing. I mean, I think if they don't stop the play, like, you can't just like afterwards redo the play over again.
Yeah, you're not God. You can't turn back time.
Yeah, so like that, that's definitely something that the conspiracy theorists were definitely holding on to as far as an example of hey, this is all planned.
It is.
The
NFL's rigged. It's rigged. It's rigged. It's gonna do whatever it's gonna need. It's gonna do whatever it needs to do to get the most ratings. We're gonna have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, both advocates for State Farm, at State Farm Field in Arizona against the fucking wild-ass Eagles, who have a big market. They have Philadelphia, I think, is like the 4th largest city in the U.S. Like, they're huge, massive. And then, like, just these diehard fans that are fucking ridiculous and idiots. They try and destroy who destroys their own city whenever they win? Like, what kind of shit is that? That's not passion. That's just stupidity. Fucking retarded. Anyways, you got anything else in this game? It sucks that the ref dictated this and NFL rigged.
Yeah, although there was some low-key kind of stuff that happened that did kind of change or was a big impact that people didn't really notice. Like Tyler Boyd getting an injury and was being out for most of the second half.
Yep.
That was kind of a lot bigger because basically what the Chiefs did from there, and Tony Romo said it, loudly on TV quite a few times.
He was very loud.
Yes,
he was so loud.
He was very amped up. He had quite a bit to drink during halftime before. Yeah,
I'm here for it though. I know a lot of people hate Tony Romo. I love Tony Romo.
I'm really am about those big energy guys.
Same,
especially like in games that I don't really have a dog in the hunt or something like that. Like, I want somebody to pump me up. I want something to get me going and get me excited for something that, I don't really have, if I don't bet on the game. Obviously, if I bet money on the game, I'm like honed in. It doesn't matter if I bet
that helps it. Even like I'm already amped up and then I get amped up when hearing the announcers get amped up. I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Gus Johnson is like my drug. Gus Johnson, like, for college football, he's literally my drug.
College football. He injects college football in his veins every morning before he starts his day. That's like part of his morning ritual.
Yeah, and so that shit gets me pumped up. But
I'm here for it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. Yeah, like Tony Romo. Back to what I was saying, I guess. Tony Romo was saying, basically they were just Kansas City was just doubling Jamar Chase and and T. Higgins after that. It was, and they were just like, hey, beat us with this, white guy and Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, and Joe Mixon couldn't run the ball. Joe Burrow had the most rushing yards.
Yeah, well, yeah, and at that point of the game, it was like, you really were trying to throw the ball down the field.
Right. You're right. Tyler Boyd had a little bit more of an effect on the game than we thought. Yeah, I don't really. It kind of sucks because I was really hoping the Bengals would get in. But the game's never over when Joe Burrow is your quarterback, though. That's just. I mean, he had an immaculate drive late to tie it at what at 2020 or what, that was to tie it at 13-13. I can't remember.
It was tied at 2020.
2020, yeah. It was unreal. Yeah. The special teams came through for the Chiefs, which never thought that would happen. Actually, we kind of did think about it. If you think about it. Wasn't it? Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. They played the Jaguars, and Bucker hit a nice long field goal.
Yeah,
and I think that just vamped up their special teams.
Yep. And then Sky Moore had a nice return that also maybe had a questionable block in the back call, no call.
NFL rigged.
Yep. But
what else you got?
That's about it. I mean. I don't want to take too much credit away from the Chiefs because the Chiefs have been a good team this year.
They're the best team.
They're a great team. And it's just, you knew this was going to be a good game. It ended up being a good game. It's just, you'd hate to see it kind of dictated by the refs.
Yeah. Kelsey is somehow he's the best quarterback. He just tied Gronk for most playoff touchdowns in his career, I think at 15. Mm-hmm. Just tied Gronk. He's the best. He's got to be the best tight end of all time. How he continues to get open every single fucking play, game in, game out, is absolutely absurd. It's insane. I don't understand it, but he does it. He's a little sneaky fucker.
Yeah,
for as big as he is.
Yep.
What else?
I think that's about it on my end. I think that's all I had.
Yeah. I did see Pacheco is deadly. He is. It's just keep giving him the ball. He's a ridiculous rookie, and he's just so fast and so good.
I was gonna say actually, when he had that sideline tiptoe in the first quarter, and then in the fourth quarter he had those breaking tackles where he just wasn't getting down, even with three guys on top of him.
Yeah, there was one where they had two Cincinnati guys that should have been a tackle. The Cincinnati guys, it looked like they gave up. I can't remember who it was, but fuck, man. They should have had him down.
Yeah. But, yeah, he's deadly. It will be exciting to see how his career pans out.
I'm pretty pumped. Anyways, yeah, Bengals lose to the Chiefs 20-23. Let's do a Super Bowl preview real quick. Chiefs versus Eagles. Fuck the Eagles. The Eagles suck. They haven't faced a quarterback like this, a quarterback tight end duo like this. Pacheco's gonna run all over them. Fuck their fucking defensive line. I don't give two fucking shits. Kadarius Toney's gonna be nasty. MVS gonna be nasty. McCall Hardman's nasty. They're gonna destroy that fucking Philadelphia Eagles secondary. The Eagles haven't seen an offensive line like Chris Jones and Frank Clark, which I forgot we should point out that Chris Jones got his first playoff sack in the playoffs in his career, which didn't make it. I was like, there's absolutely no way that stat is true.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, and he got two. He got two last game, so good for him. Chris Jones is going to be all over Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts won't be able to run around like he did. Just Frank Clark and Chris Jones are just going to absolutely annihilate that supposedly stout ass fucking Philadelphia offensive line. No, it's just Devontae Smith and AJ Brown might get some catches. Dallas Goedert's not going to do shit, and they're gonna stuff the run. They're gonna make Jalen Hurts throw the ball, and that's not gonna be good. They're gonna take away his legs, and the Chiefs are gonna fucking win the Super Bowl.
So no hate towards the Eagles at all?
No, none. We're best friends. Best fucking friends. Good Lord. Yeah, we're going to get drinks tomorrow at the bar.
I think a big storyline is going to be actually Mahomes' ankle. And because I think that'll be a big determination about it. Cause
I think he's going to be fine. He played fine last week.
He was hobbling, though.
He was a little bit, but he's going to have 2 weeks that they're going to shoot him up with drugs.
I mean, that's true, but the thing is I noticed that when the Bengals weren't really blitzing him very much. They were playing the normal game plan with Mahomes, which is like drop it most everybody back and just let him dunk it off and just try to make the tackle. But when the Bengals changed their game plan to blitzing him and trying to make him throw on the run, that's whenever they were able to kind of come back in that game. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be the key factor for the Eagles. If they can break through the line, it might force some errant throws because I don't think that ankle's going to be fully 100%. But
I think Andy Reid's going to adjust.
But at the same time, we saw last year with the Chiefs where Patrick Mahomes was literally just putting everything that he's got into it, which I think he's going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing is, he has great weapons that he can just dump. So he could dump the ball to Pacheco. He could dump the ball to McCall Hardman. He could dump the ball in VS. It doesn't matter. And then Travis Kelce's going to be open. He absolutely 100% is going to be open.
We won't. There's no explanation. We don't know how he does, but he will be.
No, there's not. It's just. It's like you're trying to define energy. You just don't. Nobody really understands it, and you just accept that it's there.
Yeah.
And you just move on. Let's see. You got the Eagles -1.5. What are you thinking? I know what I'm thinking. I think everybody knows what I think.
Yeah, I think I'm going to still go with the the Josh rule.
Oh God.
I'm going to go with -1.5 since I'm fade your picks.
Dude, it's Chiefs money line, easy. I'll even take the points. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, like it doesn't matter. The Chiefs money line, they're gonna win. They're gonna fucking win. The over-under's 49.5 is going to be way over the fucking over-under. I know, I get it. It's the Super Bowl. It never hits the over, blah, 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 blah. No. Chiefs are going to put up 50 by themselves.
Okay.
What do you think about the over-under?
Well, I'm going to go under.
Fuck. All right, well, those are our Super Bowl projections.
But I will have to say this. I will say this because I did jot this down. And to support your argument of the over, we've got Philadelphia, which ranks team offense number 2nd in the league and defense number 8 in the league. And Kansas City ranks the 1st in the league in offense and 16th in defense. So this is definitely an offensive battle. So
that's kind of cool. This is the battle of the offenses, huh?
The 2 greatest offenses in the league.
This is an offensive game. I did check last week. There was, as far as the rushing yards go, it was 1 of 1. So the Eagles had the most rushing yards in that Niners game, but the Bengals had the most rushing yards in the other game. I think it was just a tale of two completely different games because this was more of a shootout the Bengals game was more of a shootout than the Eagles game. It was more like they just ground and pounded in the second. The Eagles just ground and pounded in the second half, whereas the Bengals-Chiefs game was actually pretty tight, so they kept throwing the ball.
Well, did you factor in the refs' rushing yards?
Oh, that's
the Chiefs?
True.
So
I didn't even. So yeah, I completely forgot. Look, let me see. Actually,
I should have combined the stats.
I got to make sure I got to combine the stats. I can't believe I forgot about that, dude.
Yep.
So let's see. There was 71 total rushing yards by the Bengals and 42 total rushing yards by the Chiefs. And the refs, oh, dude, look at this.
Uh-huh.
The refs had 71 rushing yards against the. Nope. Bengals still rushed more.
They still rush more?
Yeah. Okay. So the Bengals rushed for 0 yards, and the Kansas City Chiefs rushed for negative 13 yards.
Okay.
That was quick maths.
I was about to say, I don't know how you got that stat, but
it's here, brother. It is here.
Bro, you're even fooling Amazon next gen stats.
These are these advanced analytics right here, bro. So yeah, the rushing theory it actually played. It doesn't matter what happens in the Super Bowl because most of the teams that won in the playoffs had the most rushing yards. So our theory is correct.
Okay.
This is a rushing game. But it is offense. Offense wins championships nowadays. So yeah, those are our Super Bowl predictions. Let's move on to. Do you have anything else before we move on?
That's it.
All right, let's go to the Australian Open. Real quick, we'll talk some tennis. Novak Djokovic wins in straight sets. He beats I don't know how to say his name. It just looks like it's a bunch of.
Gotcha.
He tied Nadal with 22 Grand Slams over his career. I think he's the best tennis player of all time. They're both Nadal and Djokovic are both 2 over second place, which is Roger Federer. Roger Federer has 20. He's too good, and he even like basically took off the last year and a half, 2 years because of the COVID shit. Mm-hmm. Like he didn't play in any of the most of the Grand Slams. I know he didn't play in the Australian Open the last year and last year before that. He's the best. I didn't even realize all the drama he had with his dad. His dad apparently was seen. His dad wasn't allowed to the Australian Open because he was seen holding up a Russian flag with Vladimir Putin's face on it.
Ooh,
yeah. So
interesting.
His dad's really political. Like,
yeah,
he'd be the American version of like a dad holding up an American flag with Trump face on it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's
maybe less extreme, but I get your point.
You see what I'm saying? Like I think that would be the American equivalent, just to like kind of put it in perspective for people. I think that's what that was, because he was not allowed there. He was very emotional at the end of the game. Embraced his mother, started crying and everything, blah blah blah. Congratulations, Novak Djokovic, you won. You killed him, destroyed him.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say, I feel like I want to wait till he breaks, or he's number one, and not tied with Nadal.
He is ranked number one.
Right he is ranked number one. But what I'm saying is, like, get me to 23. Give me that Jordan number, and then I'll double him to GOAT.
We gotta American it up for us, huh? That's the only way we'll understand. Give me 23 Grand Slams, and boom, we're good.
Yeah.
All right, I got it. Let's do. Speaking of NBA, let's do a little bit of NBA talk. I didn't know this was a Saturday night Boston versus Lakers game. I didn't know you could get a tech for showing the ref a selfie. You can get a technical foul for showing the ref a selfie. Did you know that?
How awesome was that?
Oh, it's the most Pat Beverly thing that Pat Beverly has ever Pat Beverly.
Yes, yeah. Pat Beverly himself.
Yeah, he did. He's the ultimate troll. Like he might not be the ultimate troll, but he's up there. He's got to be one of the best trolls of all time. Like, yeah, bro. Nobody's ever got like. He's like up there. You remember when Joe Horn hit a cell phone in the goalpost? Mm-hmm. Called his mom when he told him he was in the end zone?
Yeah. It's
some shit like that. Nobody ever thought to grab a fucking camera and just show the ref, hey, you fucking missed this.
And he had to convince the cameraman to give him his camera. I mean, those are the things that are expensive equipment.
I honestly, I don't know. I think the cameraman was just in shock.
Yeah.
I think he was just so shocked that Pat Beverly just came over and took the camera, and he's just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
I think he was just in shock. He didn't know what was going on. He's like, yo, that's my camera. And then Pat Beverly's like, I'm an NBA player. I'm way taller than you. Shut the fuck up. Sit down.
Yeah.
And then he showed the ref. Ref teed him up. Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. I think they don't like whenever you try to do their job.
Oh, yeah. They get mad.
Mad.
Yeah. And they don't, it's not like there's any repercussions for making a mistake.
Mm-mm.
Not like, unlike with the players. They make one tiny little mistake, they get fined $10,000.
Yep.
The refs, they'll make all the mistakes they want, nothing.
Yep.
That was a bad call. That LeBron James should have gotten that call. Jason Tatum hit his arm, and LeBron would have made that layup. Like LeBron James, I'm sorry. Like I know he's 38. He's getting old. Blah blah blah. He would not have missed that layup. That's what he does best.
I mean, he had 40 points at that point in the game. Like he was dropping points. Yeah. He doesn't miss that.
No, absolutely not. So I understand why he would be pissed. He went full dramatic mode. I'm talking like a toddler that didn't get his or her way. Like if you got like when a toddler gets a toy taken away, and they throw a temper tantrum. That was LeBron James.
I mean, he's definitely since he's gotten into LA and gotten into the Hollywood lifestyle, he's definitely taken some acting classes because he had quite a performance there.
And the Oscar goes to
LeBron James. Reaction from Lakers Celtics into the game.
We should do that. That should be an ESPYs thing, or we can just make one. We'll do like some ridiculous award show.
Yeah,
like the best freak out, or the best bad lip reading, or the best sideline conversation.
Yeah,
we'll do something. We'll figure it out. Yeah. So the Boston ends up winning that game. I don't know. The Lakers just seem to they can't seem to catch a break. Like every time they start winning, Anthony Davis will get hurt. Then they can't win, and then for some reason, like I don't even know, they're playing the Knicks tonight, and they were even with Anthony Davis, they were playing them tight. I can look up who won. They ended up beating the Knicks 129. Oh, in OT, nice. Oh, good for the Lakers. They're still last in the division. Our New Orleans Pelicans need to step it up. I know I get it, Zion's out, BI's still out, but like we need to beat the teams that we're supposed to beat. Like we should not be losing to the Detroit Pistons. We are 1-9 in the last 10.
Yeah, having those star players out, that's definitely been hurting us. But good thing is most of the time we're usually trying to crawl into the playoffs, and this way we're actually in the playoffs. So we're just kind of falling down a little bit. So yeah. I am happy about that. Just keeping things in perspective. Because I've been a desperate Pelicans fan for quite some time.
Long time.
And so, I'm kind of putting that in perspective. But, yeah, I say we need, hey, come on, boys, wrap up those injuries. So let's get back on the court.
Right, exactly. I feel like they just nurse Zion's injuries so much. But if he just never plays, then we're going to have to get rid of him. Like, I don't – like, what are we just going to – like, he's going to play 20 games a year? Like I think that's what he's averaging right now. He's averaging like 30 games a year. We can't. We're paying him so much fucking money. We need him more than that. So it's tough. But when we have our full squad, we can beat anybody in the league.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sucks. The Celtics or the Knicks win over the Celtics. I think it was on Friday. Huge. Julius Randle. Just a money shot at the end there.
Oh,
just
yeah.
Ice in his veins to send it to it was either to win it or to help send it to overtime. It was incredible. Last thing I got on NBA is the Nets are weird as fuck. The Brooklyn Nets, they will get up for games like against the Knicks, the Warriors, the Lakers. They'll win them soundly and then lose to the Detroit Pistons.
Play to the level of their competition.
It's weird. It is. They're a really good team. Durant's playing out of his mind. Kyrie's playing well. Ben Simmons is awesome on defense. Like they got it together. They know what they're doing. It's just I guess they have brain farts some games.
Those superstars. They know what good games are and they know what bad games are, and I guess that's kind of where the coach has to be a motivator in that sense. Mm-hmm. He's got to be able to pick them up for those. Those cupcake games or supposedly cupcake games, because honestly, when you're in the professional league, it doesn't matter what professional league, there's really no cupcake games.
No, there's not. The only cupcake games are in college.
Yeah. So I don't know. You got to maybe the coach has to work on the motivational skills a little bit more.
Yeah.
On that instance.
Yeah. At that point, you got to maybe bring out your inner college coach. Just fire him up.
Yeah. Or get the strength and conditioning guy. He's always jacked up on something.
Fucking cocaine, bruh. Pre-workout.
I was about to say, he probably snorts pre-workout. That's what it is.
Yep. Dry scoops.
Yep.
Love it. You got anything else on the NBA?
That's about it.
We'll get more detail, obviously, like I keep saying. We had a little more talk on NBA this week. I watched it a lot more, so yeah, it'll get more. So, you got anything else?
I think that wraps it up on my end.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. Love y'all.
Later.